Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. So, as you can see from this title, I'm going to be telling stories that I couldn't tell while I was in school. Like, it's not for any school reasons. The school didn't tell me not to tell these stories. These stories aren't that serious. A couple of them are embarrassing, and the other couple involve people that in school wouldn't have liked me making a video about it, but I'm never gonna see most of them again, so what's the point? But I'm also wearing my school jumper, my leavers jumper that I got at the end of the year. Class of 20. It's so hot, it's like 28 degrees, so I'm gonna take off this jumper now. So some of these are just gonna be like silly, and some of them are gonna be like sad and more serious. So let's start with a silly, funny one. So, one of my favourite moments of school is science class, because I don't know how I got work done. I don't know how I was like an A-star student, because I did nothing. My friend Serena and I, we always used to sit next to each other, and I don't know, now that I think about it, this is not that funny, but we found it funny every single lesson because our science books were kept in the science classroom. Like, when we'd get them, we'd take our friend Chantel's book and just hide it somewhere in the classroom. So like 20 minutes of class, she would just be walking around the classroom. It would, ugh. I don't know why I find it funny, because now that I think about it, it gets annoying, but it was turned into like a whole war. He would get into the classroom first and get the other person's book because she started retaliating, and then other people got involved, and it was fun. It was fun. I don't know what happened with me in year 11 science, was year 10 I was like the top in my class, and like I focused. I barely ever talked in year 10 science. When it came to year 11 science, like I just didn't care anymore. I stopped studying and I just messed around in every single class. I just started to hate science, so I thought, I'm not really gonna try. I will mess around. But I still ended up getting like 7s and 8s, which are A's and A stars. I wouldn't advise you doing that, because I got a lot of stress nights before exams trying to cram information into my brain, because I thought, I don't care about science, but if I get a 3 in this test, my mum will care. I feel like one of the reasons that I did ended up hating science was this one experience that happened in year 10 that I'm going to talk about right now. Like, as I said, science, year 10, I was like the top of my class. Like, I knew all the answers, and I did extra work outside so I could come into class knowing the answers, because I just wanted to, I don't know, impress people. But on my science table, there was this girl, let's call her Mary. So Mary, she wasn't that good at science, but she did try, and she was getting like 3s, which 3s are D's. And a lot of the times the teacher would ask me when I'd finished my work, because yes, I was one of those people that finished the work 10 minutes before class ended, and like asked me if I could like help and explain. And then at first I tried to explain it to her, and she just get really annoying, really frustrated at me, and she's like, oh, don't try and explain, give me the answer. And I'm like, I can't do that because that's not gonna help you. She was always like, I'm not asking you to help me, I just want the answer. So after like a couple weeks of like going back and forth with her sentiment and stuff, I just decided, do what you want, here's my book. If you want to fail your actual GCSEs, copy my work, like just for some questions in a booklet. And then it started becoming like an everyday thing. Like, I had science every day, and it was just annoying, and I just felt like it had taken advantage of and used. But like, I was like, oh, it's just a couple questions, it's fine. She's the one that's not benefiting, and I told her, and she knows that she's not benefiting, And one day, we had a test. She sits opposite me, and she started like kind of whispering to me, asking me for the test answers, and I was like, no. Like, I tried to ignore her, and I was like, no, I'm not giving you in the middle of a test. Like, it's a test. Like, questions in lesson and a test is two different things. And like, well, she wasn't having it, so she literally, I don't know what the teacher was doing, but not enough. She literally like stood up and peered over my test. And I just felt, I was so annoyed. So after the class ended, I went to the teacher and I said to her, I need to move, or can you move her? Like, or something. I don't want to, she copied me. I don't want that to happen again. And she said, fine. So she moved me on the same, I was still on the same table, but I was on the other side. Because tables in science in my school are so long. They fit like 10 people on there. And we're not opposite each other anymore, we're on different sides. So she was here, like, and I was all the way here. But yet she still would find ways to try and force me to give her answers in tests and in class and stuff. And in class, when I like refused, like afterwards she'd go around like saying horrible things about me, like to like her whole form and stuff. And my friend Rihanna is in her form, and she was just like, what did you do? Because she's just like going on rants about you in form time for no reason. And I decided that I hated science, so I stopped trying. And I think I had one bad grade. Well, I got a 5 in one test, and that's a C. That's like a high C, but it's a bad grade for me. Like, some people was like really good. For me, in science I usually get 6s, 7s and 8s. So my mum was like, why are you getting a 5? What did you do? Like, why is that? And then I just went on about how I didn't like science. So she sent a very angry email to my teacher. And during that time, the teacher that I approached about this, she was a training teacher, not the actual teacher. And I think my mum got it confused, and she was like to the actual teacher that saying that I like told him when I told the other teacher, and he was, I don't know, he was very angry at me. Like, he was very passive aggressive, like, and I just asked for either her to be moved or for me to move, because I didn't even care if I wasn't with my friends anymore. It got to that point. And he made a whole big deal about it and changed the whole seating plan and moved everyone in class, and kind of like made me feel really bad about it. So that's why I started hating science, and I stopped trying. I'm just happy school is over. But my next story is a fun one, you know. Last September, I went on a school trip to Berlin for history, and not a lot of people went. It was only, I think, 15 people in the whole year went, because you had to stay at a random person's house, because we had a partner school in Germany, in Berlin, and loads of people weren't comfortable with that. And I was just like, oh no, I'll do it, what the heck. But it was a very, very fun trip. And on the way back, this girl in front of me, I don't think she'd mind me using her name, Annabelle, she had downloaded Call Me By Your Name. And if you don't know what Call Me By Your Name is, that Timothée Chalamet masterpiece that we saw back in 2017. And it has the famous peach scene. And if you know, you know. I'm not going to describe the peach scene, but if you know, you know. But I'd never seen the peach scene because the person I was sitting next to on the plane, Lizzie, she had a Timothée Chalamet obsession and was obsessed with Call Me By Your Name like a couple years before then, and would talk to me about it all the time. And then when I found out that the peach scene was a thing, I was like, hell no, I'm not watching that. But my curiosity got the best of me, and the girl in front of me had the film downloaded. She was watching it, and we were just like, fast forward to the peach scene, fast forward, and we were trying to cover it because next to us was one of our teachers, and we just didn't want him to see, and yeah, so we watched it. My teacher, he had peach sweets, you know, like Haribo peach sweets shaped as peaches, and like while we were watching it, like just, I don't know, the coincidence, he offered us all peach sweets. Next on the list, year 10 PE. One thing about me in PE, like I just try and have fun and stuff. But then we did basketball, and that was the first time in like 2 years we did basketball for some reason. And I'm actually very good at basketball. Like I'm not good at any other sport. Like I'm an average badminton player, but I was good at basketball. And it kind of showed, like I knew how to use the space, I was good at dribbling. And the only thing I wasn't that good at shooting. And on the other team, there was this girl, what should we call her? Liza? Yes, let's call her Liza. Yes. But one thing you have to know from my school, for some reason I wasn't very liked. People didn't like me. I don't know, I'm just gonna put it off for jealousy, you know? Everyone has their haters. I had my fair share. And from like day 1, year 7, she didn't really like me. So I just like steered clear of her. I didn't really talk to her that much unless I had to work with her in the class. We didn't have that many classes together in the first place, which was great. But we were in the same PE class, and I had the ball, and for some reason she thought it was necessary to push me and try to trip me up and rip the ball out of my hands to get the ball, when that's not what basketball's about. This a second of like self-defense. I pushed her out of the way so I didn't fall, because I was about to tumble because she tripped me up and was gonna push me to take the ball. And yes, I pushed her, and then I just like was playing the game like normal, tried to ignore it because I was like, why did you do that? But she didn't answer me. And then 10 minutes later, she started like cradling her arm and crying in the corner. And so the teacher went up to her, and she was just like, oh, Chloe hurt my arm. Chloe pushed me for no reason. So I got in trouble, and I was like, I'm going to deny, because when she started cradling her arm, I was nowhere near her. I don't know, she's very rough. Like I thought she probably did something with someone else within that 10-20 minutes, because I don't know, my eyes weren't on her, but I'm like 80% sure that it wasn't me. And he was saying, oh, why are you so violent? You have to not be so aggressive. And I was like, no, I didn't do it. He was like, go apologise. I'm like, no, I'm not apologising. We weren't even in the same spaces. And he was like, 10 minutes ago you were. It may have not hurt then. I was like, if she broke or sprained her arm or whatever, wouldn't it hurt straight away? And he was trying to get me to apologise, and I said no. And we were kind of arguing for like 15 minutes, and it was time to go, so I left. From then, like the next day, she was in like a sling or something because she either sprained her arm or had like a fracture or something. And she was semi-popular. So for like a week, or even more than a week, I had people coming up to me telling me that I broke her arm and that I should go apologise. And I was not having that, because I just said, no, I didn't. Ask her. I didn't, she's lying. One thing that was very scary, she was friends with this new boy that came to school like a month before, and there was rumours because he got kicked out of his last school, and there was rumours that he was in a gang, and he seemed a bit sketchy. And we sat opposite each other in RS, religious studies, and for some reason after that he just starts staring at me for no reason in the middle of RS. And I don't know, I probably didn't make it better because I'm amazing at RS, and he got a question, he like shouted out the answer to a question, and the answer was wrong. So I was like, you're shouting out the answer and it's wrong. He was like, no, I'm right. And I was like, no, I'm right. And the teacher was like, Chloe's right. So yeah, so I didn't make it better from that, and I was scared. I was scared. And my friend Elizabeth did not help. She told me, what if he stabs you? Because that's the thing in London. People just get stabbed. Yes. Yeah, so I was scared. And then the next PE lesson came around and I was like, I'm not going to take part in this basketball. Like, for basketball, you have to like get close to someone and like try to make sure they don't pass the ball to someone else and intercept. I did not. I decided not to, and because it was like the whole class was being carried mostly by me and this other girl, like it was very, I don't know, I feel like she decided not to participate, and the teacher got very, very angry, very, very pissed, so decided to do a new basketball game where everyone has partners, and if your partner manages to shoot in the hoop, you have to do like 20 sit-ups. And my friend Elizabeth, she was terrible at basketball, so she ended up doing so many sit-ups, and I never did. That's maybe karma for Elizabeth. She's probably watching. I think it was karma. You don't go tell me. Joking about getting stabbed, I was traumatized, Lizzie, and still for like months on end I still got approached by people telling me that, asked me why I broke her arm, why I'm aggressive, why I'm violent and stuff. And one thing I kind of realised, with me, one mess up and I'm like the aggressive, violent girl, because throughout school I'm quite quiet. Like, I answer questions. I'm like the model student, if there is any model student. Like, I try most of the time. Most of the time I get good grades and stuff, and I'm respectful for teachers. But that one slip up, and no, I am violent and aggressive. Yes, that is just white privilege right there. Do with that information as you will. One more story here. This one is just, I just feel like my form, which is kind of my class, was crazy from this one. Like, I don't even know how we got so bad and what happened for this to happen. But at the end of year 9, like our form, I don't know what happened, but our form tutor just dropped us. Like, not physically, obviously, but she was like, I don't want to be your form tutor anymore. And we didn't see her for months on end. I can't actually remember what happened. I think maybe it was just loads of small things building up, because we had a reputation in our school and in our year of being the worst form, the most misbehaved form. And I just don't know why. Like, I have one thing, like, this girl at the beginning of year 9 moved to our form, and man oh man, was she a troublemaker. There's one computing lesson, I sat quite close to her, and I don't know why, but she got scissors and cut the cord of the keyboard, and the teacher saw, and she was like, it was there already. Yeah, and little did she know, in the computing rooms we have CCTV, and the teacher was like, okay, I'll go check the CCTV, and she was just like, oh my gosh, I really stepped in it, and just left the classroom. And we all got in trouble for some reason. Our form was wild, and our form tutor just didn't, I don't know, we just got the worst reputation in the school, and we had to move to a different classroom for our registration, and had this like really strict teacher, and for like, I think 2 months, a month or two, and then our form tutor was like, I want you back. So I have really no idea. I just thought maybe my form tutor, I felt like my form tutor just wasn't that strict, and that was kind of her fault from day one, not making it strict. Like, boys in my form would throw scissors around. Just literally throw scissors, throw glue sticks. I don't know, but that computer lesson was the only really example I could think of that was a reason for my form tutor to leave us, but I can't remember anything else. I feel like half of my secondary school experiences is just blank. Like, I can't remember a lot of things from school, but I remember like stuff with friends in school, like me, this other girl called Chloe, and Lizzie, my friend Lizzie. We decided to start calling ourselves the Frapple, because we there was a time where we did everything together. I think it was the beginning of year 10. Like, we were in like majority of the same classes. We spent lunches together. We spent breaks, and we were all into the same things. So I thought of the idea, and we were like, we did a name for us, and I was like, we should be the Frapple. And they both thought that I created the idea of a Frapple, but they were disappointed when I just knew what a Frapple was beforehand. So I was in a Frapple for a while. Great times. Overall, I think secondary school was terrible, but also good. Good moments, but I had a bad experience. I'm never going to back to my school again. My school was lucky to have me, and they messed it up by giving me horrible experiences. Thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed it, give it a thumbs up. Like, I love reliving my trauma and trying to think of traumatic things that happened to me for videos and for people's entertainment. So yes, like it, and for more of that, subscribe. And also, another reason to subscribe, my GCSE results come out next week. I'm getting grades for a test that I did not sit because of coronavirus, and I'm going to open it on camera, so look out for that next week, and put the post notifications and bell on so you can be notified when that comes out. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you have an amazing rest of your day. Bye.